Vortex. I have something really embarrassing to admit to you. I went to this gas station and I was in the bathroom stall and I came out and I saw this guy taking a piss at the urinal and I realized that I was in the wrong bathroom. And when I got out, the dude didn't seem to care, by the way. But when I left the bathroom, I noticed, like, on the women's restroom, it said, "Men stay out," which I really liked. So they're fighting back in Columbia, Tennessee, just to let you know. Now, they didn't have to put that sign on the men's restroom, I guess because they weren't aware of my existence. But I seriously didn't mean to do that. But it's kind of funny because I'm questionably trans, and a lot of people mistake my gender anyway. But I think it's kind of obvious by my getup that I'm a chick. But it really depends on the person I'm around, how masculine or feminine I behave. And I don't think that that means that I'm like a bad person or a sick person or whatever. I think that we all have masculine and feminine traits. It's just that some people are like more feminine, other people are more masculine, and obviously it has to do with upbringing, it has to do with environment, and, you know, biology and shit, which everybody wants to discount. But my biology states that I'm a woman, but I know that I can complicate things, but I can also simplify things too. So I think that I'm feminine where it counts. If you have compassion, that's typically a feminine trait. I think that abortion like screwed the world up, and now we have like this total misconception of what it means to be a woman. And people forget the fact though that men are responsible for giving women that right, and it really benefits men way more than it benefits women, because they can have sex with us and not have to take any responsibility for the results of, you know, a potential baby. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't women that are like gung-ho about abortion, but it's like, I wish that people would stop obsessing about identity, but I know that's not going to happen. I'm on my way to my friend Todd's house, and we're doing this podcast about The Doors and Aleister Crowley. It's one of those like conspiratorial podcasts. You know my feelings on podcasts. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to it, kind of not looking forward to it. Mainly because, like, I mean, y'all know my feelings on these various art forms that have sort of taken over the internet. Now, I get that, like, a lot of positive information and a lot of useful information can be put out into the world and can help a lot of people. So I do believe that it can be used for good, but the problem is, you know, people get stuck on these things, and it's hard for them to get unstuck. Thank you so much for the turn signal. But I wish that there was more of an effort made by people to like hold on to the things that are important in our society. And I get that like the world's gonna advance like whether we want it to or not, because the people that run everything like don't give a fuck about the people that live in this world, you know? The whole point of it is to exploit the masses and to convince us to kill ourselves, you know? And so all the like the things that we do like find joy in, all the things that we do find relief in, they're gonna fuck with those things. They're gonna taint them so that they're not the original thing. I just hate that. But, you know, there's nothing we can do about it. It's like if we don't just accept that there are things that are happening that we don't agree with, then we're just going to be, like, shaking our fists all the time in a state of rage because of all the things we can't control. And you know, one of my main criticisms of this country is that most of the citizens that live here are completely duped into thinking that they have control over certain things. You know, like, who runs this motherfucker? But we really don't. And even if people are like, more conscious of certain things, you still have to convince them to act. And when everyone's docile because all they do is play with their little smartphone or their laptop or their iPad or whatever, it's like, what can you really do as a society to change society or fix society, you know? Most people are going to choose to be docile. Unconsciously, they're going to choose that. So, it's one thing to be conscious, you know, mentally, but it's another thing to apply that knowledge and act accordingly. And I think that that's a much bigger dilemma.